Do you notice these things in your marriage?
It gets bad, then it gets a little bit better. And then it gets bad, then it gets a little bit better. Do you know why that is?
Because you're doing the same habits and routines to try to fix the same problems and struggles.
That's why we do things differently. It's a different time, so it requires a different approach. The days of just sitting in a room across from somebody and just talking things out once a week are far gone. You need actionable steps for actionable results. For us, it's optimizing 4 main pillars: the physical, the mental, the spiritual, and the relational. Highlight those in your relationship and you will shine.
Reach out to apply to work with us.
And we're not dogging people who do other different types of techniques, but there's a reason why marriage is at 50%, divorce rate's at 50% divorce rate. We're so different these days in this modern era, as you know. Like, I don't know about you, but I look back to like the 90s and 80s. I mean, I was born in 1980, she was 1981. And I just think, man, times were simpler, right? We didn't have this phone on us all the time and all this action, and we could do this, and this. And at the internet, we have every movie and cartoon and video game on demand. So we need different things to approach the marriage, right? Back then, we were simpler. So you could do a simpler thing where you just sit and talk about things, right? Because that's what you did a lot of the time. You read the paper, maybe you read a book, you're sitting there talking. But now we're just like boom, 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 doing so many things. You need different things in your life. It's a different approach. So if you think you're going to take this archaic thing that worked back then, it's not working anymore. You can't just show up once a week or twice a month and expect things to change. It's got to be day in and day out. It's got to be 24/7 support. It's got to be doing things differently in our life. That's not just talking. You got to have actionable steps in there, in the physical side, the mental side, the spiritual side, and the relational side, right? The physical side is far more than biceps and abs. It's how we show up for ourselves and others. On the mental side, it's how we're dealing with our emotions, changing our perspective. Spiritual, man, we got to be walking with God and filling our soul up. And relational, we got to be on a different spot than we were before. Can't fall back in the same patterns. There's so much we can do differently. I mean, it's fun to grow, right? Like,
oh gosh, it makes you feel so good when you grow into something new.
Right? I mean, I've changed over the years in so many ways, and I'm still gonna grow, right? Like, it's just fun.
We all are.
And all the years ago, I would always challenge Diane to do that, and she would just say, "Well, that's just not who I am. That's just not That's just not who I am."
I was wrong.
She was wrong, because we all say that it's a self-limiting belief. And when you realize and you try new things, I'm not saying like, hey, every person needs to do everything that we all do the same. That would be a boring life. But when you try new things that you don't think are for you, you never know what it's going to bring out of you, which will lead you something else. We were just talking about this yesterday, that there would have been zero chance either of us would have thought we'd be marriage coaches. If you talked to us
Never.
10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, zero chance.
Yeah.
But every year in our coaching, from fitness to nutrition to mindset, and it led to this, and then it's going to lead to something else as we grow, because we're just keeping going. But you got to take that initial action step, baby. Go and be your best version of yourself. If you want help, reach out. We have a few selective spots, and we're very selective who we work with. You got to be committed, and you got to just desire change. You can't be the person who just wants to talk and vent your problems. You got to actually put those steps in, and if that's you, we'll change your life for you. Much love.